Hello, I'm Zach Calarico, Chairman of the Board of Directors of the North Tampa Bay Chamber, serving member businesses in Wesley Chapel, New Tampa, Lutz, Land O'Lakes, Trinity, Odessa, and Newport Richey. I'm here in Tallahassee during the middle of the 2018 Florida legislative session with Representative Danny Burgess.
Hey.
From District 38. Representative Burgess is also Chairman of the House Insurance and Banking Subcommittee. I want to recognize that he was just awarded with the Legislator of the Year designation from the Veterans of Foreign Wars. And he was also a distinguished advocate of the Florida Chamber of Commerce. Congratulations on those honors, and thank you for spending some time with us today.
Absolutely, man. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on up to the Capitol. I know you got a busy schedule back home, so appreciate you being here and advocating for these important issues.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
If you would, Mr. Chairman, tell me a little bit about the workers' compensation legislation that you've been reviewing in your committee, and maybe tell us a little bit about how that impacts businesses in Florida.
Absolutely. So when I last had the opportunity to speak before the Chamber, I was kind of laying a little bit of a predicate in how we got to where we were last session, where it ended, and how this coming session we were going to hit the ground running and do every single thing that we could to make this legislation, this meaningful reform to the workers' compensation system happen this year. And so I'm proud to say that in the first week of session, we passed that bill, same bill from last year that we all talked about at length. I'm sure you're used to me going on about it, so I promise I won't do that to you here today. But we passed that bill off the floor the first week, and so it's in the Senate's hands right now. And so we need to do all we can to get our senators over there to take that issue up, to pass it, because I hear from small business owners back home weekly talking about how this is literally the single most important jobs and economic issue that we face here in the state of Florida. And I do believe that to my core. It's imperative that we have certainty and stability in our marketplace. And that's why we need to get on the front end of fixing this. And I'll be honest, there's a prevailing mentality here sometimes that we come up against here in the Capitol and in the process, where people prefer to kick the can down the road and say, well, let's just worry about this next year. And I just can't operate that way. Maybe it's the military guy in me, but and I know you being in the Navy, you get that too. But when there's a problem, let's solve it before it gets worse. And that's what we need to do here, because there are real people back home that are really suffering and really need us to reform this system, both employers and employees alike. So we've done our job here in the House. We're working with our Senate partners to try to make sure that we can get something done there too. And hopefully by the time this is all said and done, we can have a good report.
Very good. It sounds like it's really important to not just focus on what's happening well for us today, but really think about the changes that could happen in the future and have good business practices in place. Is there anything you think the members our members at home might do to support our initiatives?
Absolutely. Please weigh in. Please reach out to, I guess a lot of you, probably me, I'm your representative, I'm with you. Please reach out to your senators. Please rally everybody you know that's a business owner, an employee, anybody who may be affected by an issue like workers' compensation or other issues important to the business communities, and have them advocate, because it really does make a difference to have your voice be heard. Sometimes I think I hear a lot of, my email or my letter, or, my opinion, did it fall on deaf ears? And I promise you it didn't. There are so many instances where people, Zach here included, where they have talked to me about an issue that maybe I wasn't aware of, or maybe I didn't know what the real impact was. And it can honestly, truly change your perspective on things and affect the way that you'll vote or what you'll do here in the process. So it absolutely matters to have your voice be heard. This is a representative democracy, and it takes those that we represent letting us know what's important to them for this to work the way it's supposed to. So please, please, please be a resource for me.
Thank you. And thanks for always lending a listening ear for the Chamber and our members, and making sure that you hear our issues and represent us well. So thank you for your service in the House of Representatives, and thank you for your continued service as an officer in the United States Army.
Thanks, Zach. And I'm super proud to be able to say that I represent Wesley Chapel and the Chamber and everything that you're doing. Fastest growing area in the state, and I get to call that my district. So that's something to be proud of. Thank you all so much for what you're doing. I hope to see you soon.